Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. How are you guys doing today? I hope you're doing well. So I've just been thinking about like this story that I wanted to tell about when I was in my country, Cameroon, last year, and I was hanging out with my cousin and a brother of mine in one of our cars that we have. This car is kind of old and it was getting bad, so we were driving and going somewhere, and this particular car is like kind of old and dying out. Like the car is just like breaking, right? So before we get into the car, before we get into the part of noticing that a car was beat up, I just want to talk about the fact that when we were driving and going to where we were going, we were constantly getting stopped along the way by police officers who wanted to do security checks, and we had to pay bribes to be able to be allowed to go wherever we were trying to go to, like the whole way, okay? And every single person in the car complained about how the country is going into dumps and it's bad and it's this and da da da. You know, everybody was just like, oh my God, when will this stop? And it was just a continuous thing that was just happening along the way, right? Like typical. And then as we were driving and heading towards our destination, one of my cousins in the car said, he said to my brother who owns that, dying car, or pretty much dead dying car, he said to my brother, like, before this car dies completely, what you need to do is you need to sell this car. This is the time to sell this car right now before, you can be able to make some money off of the car. And he said it like it was the most normal thing. And then I turned to him and I was like, you are part of the problem in the country. Like, these are the kind of things that make the country as bad as it is. Like, you right now, you're only thinking about what's good for yourself and how you can do something to benefit you. But by behaving like that, you are contributing to making the country to be a horrible place. Just like that police officer is thinking only about himself, the one who's trying to take a bribe from you, he's thinking about himself and how the money that he's going to make is probably going to help him pay his child's school fees, help him with his girlfriend or whatever. Like, he's thinking only about himself. You are not different from that police officers. All the police officers on the road that were collecting bribe from, you are the same like them. You are them right now. You are being them right now. And I don't know if he fully understood what I was trying to say. Like, he was like, oh, I'm talking in terms of his karma. I'm like, no, it's not about karma. It's about you are actually being like him. Like, it's not like the luck is going to come back. No, it's just that you're contributing to make the country to be more of a shithole place, like a shithole country. You are contributing in making it a shithole, and the next person does the other thing that makes it shithole for another person, and another person is just a cycle that just continues, and everybody is just selfishly thinking about what's best for them. So what I just wanted to say is, like, it's important for us to remember that, like, to treat each other in a better way. Like, like, I feel like at the end of the day, everybody should think about, like, what did I do to contribute in making the country worse? And what did I do to make it a better place? Because we can all contribute in our own little way. I feel like the way, like the other day as well, I want to tell this other story as well. So I'm not trying to brag about myself or anything, but earlier this year, I did buy some solar lights and send back home, because when I was in my country, on Christmas Day, I went for a walk and there were parts on the streets that were so dark. I bought some solar lamps and I sent back home for people to put on the streets. So, but before I did that, I tried to see if I can get some people to join me. Let's buy lights to send back home so they can put on the streets. and everybody was telling me how it was such a bad idea and how it won't work and how the lights are going to be used for somebody's personal gain and how it's the worst idea. And I just want to bring to people's consciousness or people's awareness that the problems that are in Cameroon or that are in any country or any problem that a group of people have that they are trying to solve, you can think of it like a mountain of poop or a mountain of dirt or a mountain of trash, a mountain of anything that is the problems that you have. And for the problems to be solved, if we're only looking at the politicians or the leaders to solve this big mountain of trash that we have to help to fix the environment that we live in, that would take them forever. Now imagine if everybody in that community or in the society or in the country contributes in taking out just one bag of trash. If everybody takes out one bag of trash, then that makes the problem much easier for the politicians to solve. It makes the problem easier. And not only that, it changes the psychology of the politicians in the country, because now they look at the people of the country and they're like, damn, the people that we have in this country are so amazing that they're taking it upon themselves to work and fix the issues that we have. We need to do better as a people. Another thing too that I wanted to talk about is that came to my awareness is that a lot of the time we blame the politicians in the country and say, oh my God, they're so bad. But the politicians are really a subset of the people. The politicians come from that country. The politician did not fall from space. They're not somebody that's not a part of you. The politician, the way he is, the corruptness and everything is a reflection of the people in that country. So if you have a politician that's a certain way, you need to ask yourself, in what way am I like that politician? Like, you need to look at yourself and judge yourself, because you contributed in raising that person. That person grew up in that country. So he is a reflection of the people in that country. So I would say to the mothers of any country that people don't like, raise better kids. Like, raise your kids to be better. Raise your sons and your daughters to be better, because one day they will get up and they will lead the people in that country. So, and also another thing too that has been on my mind that I would like to talk about too is, one day I watched a video of a little kid, a little Nigerian child, whom I don't remember exactly what it was, but I think they were trying to feed like kids some food somewhere, and then that one child just came and took everything and was ready to run away with everything. And I remember that the adults in that environment just stood and looked at it and was like, oh my God, this is the kind of kids, this is the mentality of corruption. Hey, this is corruption. This is the way, this kind of one will grow up and lead us corrupt. He's just thinking only about himself. But when I looked at that, in my mind, I was thinking like, that is an opportunity to correct that behavior and to teach them. Instead of like shaming them or making them feel bad, it's a moment to bring all those kids together and sit them down and really say, no, this is not how you behave. You have to look after everybody. And the reason why is because this and that. Instead of shaming them or making them feel like they're bad or making them feel like, no, just call them with all the love in your heart. Call them and sit them down and explain why. Ask them, do they like the way the current country is going, the way the current leaders in power? Is that what you want to end up being like? Tell them why that behavior is not nice. Like, you'll be amazed how significant a lesson that you can teach a little child can be down the line, like the ripple effects, So that's just what I wanted to talk about. So let's just be proactive and let's just be more proactive. And I'm not saying it as a self-righteous person, as somebody who knows it all. I'm just giving my own ideas and my own 2 cents. And these are just things that have been in my head about like things that we can do to better the communities that we live in or the countries that we live in is by each doing the little that you can do. And another thing too that I wanted to talk about was like, I've been saying like everybody can contribute, no matter how poor you are, no matter how at every level you can do something to contribute to make your country, your environment a better place. Just something as simple as sweeping the streets, picking the trash from the streets and putting it in a trash can, or just encouraging your neighbor to join you on sweep the streets on the weekends. Forming communities that clean the environment. Those are the kind of things that can make a society a better place. Like I was just thinking the other day, like I was talking to my cousin about this, how we can form like WhatsApp groups, like in a neighborhood, for example. There can be a neighborhood where we can have like a WhatsApp group for the people that live in a neighborhood, and then we can all like agree or have like neighborly chats on this WhatsApp group. Instead of these WhatsApp groups where some people scam, we can do like WhatsApp groups where we can all agree that okay, on Saturday to a day, for example, we shall wake up and just sweep the streets for 1 hour. Like, let's just have WhatsApp groups with neighbors, get to know ourselves and be like, okay, let's get up for 1 hour at this time. Let's all get brooms and sweep our streets, pick up trash. Let's just form a day of a week where we all clean the streets or do something. Something as simple as that can make a huge difference in the environment and the sanitation and the cleanliness of the country and the environment that we all live in, Anyway, that's just my 2 cents, and just things that are on my mind sometimes that I feel like I want to talk about. Anyway, that's all for tonight, guys. Good night. Bye.